Hi, my name is Usman. I'm the lead photographer at Sonder Creative, and today I want to talk about the latest price drop announcement from Hasselblad. Now, Hasselblad dropped the prices of their H6D 50C, which is the 50 megapixel camera, back in June by about 30%. They've now gone and dropped the price even more, and now it's quite a significant drop from the original price by about $11,000, which is a huge drop. Now, is this because Hasselblad are having problems keeping up with the market? Are they just having trouble shifting as many units as they want to? And because of that, they needed to drop the price. Or was this part of the plan? Was it the fact that they released the X1D and this was part of the strategy and they're now dropping the price of the H6D just to bring it in line with the market? Now, looking at it, I don't think that this was part of their original plan. And the reason I say that is because if you look at the X1D hasn't been marketed as a professional camera. It's been marketed as, as a field camera and more for, it's not for the working professional. That's not how they marketed it. And even with my conversations, even when I did have conversations with Hasselblad, I should say, they did mention that it's not really for the professional shooter. And I think the reason for that is because they didn't want to cannibalize sales for the H6D. But with camera manufacturers like Fuji stepping into the industry with the GFX, which is very, very competitively priced, I think that Hasselblad are now looking to readjust their strategy just to remain competitive. The GFX is obviously a professional camera for the professional shooter. It's got a lot, it's by any definition, it is a full-on professional camera. And I think because of that, Hasselblad have had to readjust their strategy. And if you look at the GFX on B&H's website, it is the #1 seller. The X1D, it's a top seller, but it's not the #1 seller. And I think Hasselblad are seeing this and they need to adjust. And I'm glad that they're adjusting their pricing strategy. I'm really happy that they're doing this. This also means that obviously the H6D, the 50C, was very overpriced. It was highly inflated in terms of value. And we've seen how Fuji proved that it was way more expensive than it needed to be. Even Hasselblad proved it when it made the X1D because it has the same exact sensor. So this could be the start of some good things for Hasselblad. I think that Hasselblad are moving in the right direction. And maybe this might be them understanding the market a little bit better and realizing that they can't just overinflate their prices and just put the brand name Hasselblad on it. They have been having a lot of financial problems over the last few years. They've had a lot of issues, and I think their financial problems were one of the key reasons why a lot of their products are or have been a little bit half-baked. When the X1D first came out, lots and lots of problems, loads of problems, and it looked like a very underdeveloped camera. The H6D, similar issues. It's just a rehash of the H5D. The body is pretty much the same except with the orange dot. Very disappointing in that sense. I know the Hasselblad shooter's not going to agree with me on this one, but I'm going to be honest, it is the same. It's basically the same body. And I think because of the financial problems, they weren't able to invest and develop as much as they'd like to. That's one of the key reasons why they went to DJI and borrowed a ton of money to be able to develop new products like the X1D. But of course, financial mismanagement meant that they overspent in terms of developing, and they couldn't manufacture the product. And because they couldn't manufacture the product, they couldn't sell it, which meant they couldn't pay back DJI. And that was obviously the key reason why DJI took over Hasselblad. So, financial problems, they've been having a lot of them, but I think DJI are going to shift them in the right direction. DJI have, I would hope that they have a much better understanding of how to manage these things, and seeing how they operate their drone industry, I would say DJI are going to just lead Hasselblad into a better financial model and something which is going to be far more effective. I want to see Hasselblad do well. I'm a big fan of their company. Watching some of my videos, you might not think that I am, but I genuinely am. I want them to do well. I want them to make better cameras. I think that it might be an idea for them to shift into the mirrorless systems more, because the big bulky cameras, they're not going to last long. I think if they developed a more effective professional mirrorless system, that could be better for them. When you look at companies like Fuji, Sony, and even Canon and Nikon are leaning towards mirrorless. So I think mirrorless is definitely the future, and DJI could lead them towards that. I think that if they step away from Fuji as well, I think it's probably an idea for them to step away from working with Fuji. It's a bit of a conflict of interest to have have one of your main competitors manufacture your products. So if they start manufacturing them in-house and develop their own cameras like they did with the X1D, and they developed that for their flagship and designed their own lenses and so on, I think that they may be in a much better position. So anyway, what do you think? What are your thoughts on this latest price drop? Do you think that this is now the time to buy a Hasselblad H6D? Do you think that the price is much more competitive? Would you buy the H6D? Do you think that the X1D is a better option, or do you think the GFX is a better option? I mean, the GFX has had some incredible reviews. I'm going to try and get hold of one to hopefully review and compare with some of the cameras that I compared the Hasselblad with. But in regards to Hasselblad, do you think that this spells trouble for them? I'd love to know your thoughts. I don't think that this spells a lot of trouble. I think that they're just adjusting to the market, which is always a good sign, always a good sign. And I think that Hasselblad are going to do well from this. But anyway, love to know your thoughts. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Suggestions as usual, put them below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.